Oh, it's definitely earned me more money. Just like Decatur, they were paying 70 cents more for summer corn there in August. We were hauling corn 100 mile for 40 cents, and we're making 30 cents, and I wouldn't even known that price was probably on there. I wouldn't have thought of calling Decatur, but when you go to the Grower's Edge page, then it takes all that running around out of it for you.
Good afternoon, welcome to GrainTV. My name's Cody Bills, this is Kevin McNew. Today is the 22nd, it's a Thursday here. We did get ethanol production out this morning, but before we talk about that, let's turn over to the iPad, which is actually a trading platform that customers over at GrainHedge have access to. You can put it on your iPad, you can also put it on your iPhone or Android. We also have a desktop platform, so if you are interested in that, go ahead and visit grainhedge.com. You can take a 14-day free trial, no obligation. But let's take a look at where we closed off the day. Corn down 3 3/4 cents, soybeans down 5 3/4 cents, and Chicago wheat off 3 cents here. Kevin, when we look at corn here, did the ethanol production, do you think that weighed on prices here today?
I don't really think that had a bearing much on price activity. What we did see was fairly good production, and again, as we're benchmarking this versus last year, we continue to outperform what our production pace was last year. So far, year to date, we are 5.4% above last year versus USDA only factoring in about an 0.8% increase. So the question still remains, when are we going to start to see ethanol production? We've got ethanol prices in Iowa at $1.25 right now a gallon, but in terms of production, we're not seeing those plants cut back. If that happens in the second half of the year, and if it does happen, I think it's going to happen quite sharply, that could really spell problems for the basis market. So farmers be very cautious of carrying that grain, because if ethanol plants start to back off, it's going to be a sharp drop in basis levels.
Absolutely, and one of the other things that may have been weighing on corn here today, one is the resistance level that we touched on yesterday around 391. You can see here it was a previous support level. It had a roll, that price level, roll reversal. It's now a resistance level, and you can see we touched on it yesterday. Today we continue lower. Also weighing on corn prices is the fact that the International Grain Council came out. They increased production for 14-15 marketing year. They increased it to 9, and this is global production, increasing it to 992 million metric tons. That's up from 982. Now they did take into account that the U.S. did have lower production, but that was offset and actually added to here by increased European Union, Ukraine, Argentina, Brazil corn production. So the bottom line here is that was a little bit bearish for corn and the market here going forward.
Yeah, and what we saw in the overnight trade, we saw strength in the market in both corn and beans in overnight trade, but once we came back from the 45-minute break, the market really just had no momentum, and I think you're right. I think this Grain Council number, combined with numbers out of Argentina showing better wheat production than expected, we just continue to have stories of building supplies, and I think it's detrimental to sort of long-term strength right now.
Yeah, and I think some of those resistance levels on the chart here technically also had a role. And when you look at soybeans, I think this is another area we've talked about the last couple of days. We've broken through that floor of that range that we traded in for so many months, and now we came back up, we tested it, we haven't been able to break through it. It has acted as resistance here, and it's likely, I would be surprised if that 991 level, which is acting as resistance right now, I'd be surprised if we're able to break through that on the upside. Now tomorrow we do have export sales out. That's delayed one day. Typically it comes out on Thursday, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Pushed it back to Friday. Expectations are for wheat between 200 and 400,000 metric tons, for corn between 800 and 1 million metric tons, and then when you look at soybeans, expectations between 400 and 700,000 metric tons. So guys, pay close attention to that. We'll be writing about it in our morning commentary that we send out daily to GrainHedge customers and clients. If you have any questions about what we talked about today, give us a call. The number is 877-472-4607. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you here Friday for the weekly wrap-up.